My name's Edna Mae Wickers, 78 years young, and last summer I did something nobody in Seagull Bay will ever forget. I entered the annual Big Catch fishing tournament, and I beat every bearded man, macho sportsman, and boat-owning millionaire in that town. But let me start from the beginning. I've been fishing since before disco was a thing. Back then, I'd sit on the dock with my late husband Clarence, sipping lemonade and talking about life while waiting for something to nibble. Fishing wasn't just a hobby. It was our peace, our therapy, our adventure. When Clarence passed, I stopped fishing for a while. The silence felt louder without him. But last spring, I was sitting in my rocking chair watching reruns of Wheel of Fortune when a commercial came on. Seagull Bay Big Catch Tournament, $10,000 prize for the biggest fish. I chuckled to myself, $10,000 for catching a fish? Clarence would have said, "Edna, that's the dumbest and best idea I've ever heard." The next morning, I dusted off my old tackle box, polished my lucky hook, and pulled out the bikini Clarence always dared me to wear. Not for him, mind you, but because he said I'd look dangerously powerful in it. I thought, why not? Let's give him a show. The day of the tournament. People laughed when I walked onto the pier. Not because I'm old, okay, maybe a little, but because I showed up in a bright pink bikini, a floppy sun hat, and flip-flops shaped like fish. The crowd was full of big men with expensive rods and fancy electronic sonar equipment on their boats. And then there was me, standing with a thermos of iced tea and a fold-up lawn chair. One man, name of Rick, swaggered over to me with a smirk. "You sure you're in the right place, Grandma? Bingo nights over there?" I looked him dead in the eye and said, "I'm just here to win your money, son." Let me tell you something about fishing. It's not about muscle, it's about patience. You can't rush a fish. You have to charm it, whisper to it. Sometimes you even gotta out-stubborn it. Hours passed. People started packing up. The biggest catch so far was a 12-pound sea bass. Decent, but not a winner. I had nothing yet, but I knew my fish was still out there. The big one, suddenly around hour 6, my line tugged. Not just a nibble, a full-on, rod-bending, boat-shaking pull. I grabbed the handle and braced my feet. "Oh no, you don't," I muttered. "You're not getting away." People started gathering. Cameras came out. Rick, Mr. Macho, stood behind me with his arms crossed. "She's gonna fall in," I heard someone whisper, but I didn't fall. I planted my feet like an oak tree, leaned back and fought that beast like I was wrestling the sea itself. The fish pulled. I pulled harder. I yelled, it splashed. I shouted again. And after 25 whole minutes, I yanked up the biggest, slimiest, shiniest fish Seagull Bay had ever seen, a 27-pound striped monster. The pier went silent. I held it up by the tail with one arm, raised my other arm with my rod like a victorious gladiator, and hollered, "Who's laughing now?" The aftermath. The judges measured it 3 times. They checked the rule book. They even asked if it was real. It was. I won $10,000, a golden fishing trophy the size of a watermelon, and the undying respect of every single person on that dock. Rick came up to me afterward and offered a handshake. "You're a legend, ma'am," he said, shaking his head in disbelief. "I know," I smiled. What I did with the money now, you're probably wondering what I did with my winnings. Bought a yacht? Nope. Retired to Florida? Nah. I bought myself the shiniest, reddest vintage convertible I could find. One of those classic Cadillacs that looks like it came straight out of a 1950s movie. I even got a custom license plate, hooked. Sometimes on sunny days, I drive along the coast in that car, fishing rod in the trunk, music blasting, and the wind messing up my curls. And every once in a while, someone recognizes me. "Aren't you the grandma from the tournament?" I grin. The one and only. Final words from Edna. They say you're too old to wear bikinis, too old to fish, too old to win. But let me tell you something. You're only too old for the things you stopped daring to do. So grab your rod, wear the bikini, and catch your dream, whether it's a fish, a prize, or a moment of glory. And always, always, believe in the power of Grandma Magic.